All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Just can't say enough how proud I am of the Nebraska public servants. We're here at NEMA headquarters. We're here at the NEMA headquarters to address extraordinary moments that have taken place in the state of Nebraska since beginning last Monday. First, want to say thanks for Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly's efforts, Director Kramer, Colonel Bolduc with State Patrol, General Strong, Director Vinton, Irv, and John, Irv who heads up NEMA, and then John Cannon with the Nebraska County Association. So, and then everybody here at the NEMA headquarters rolling their sleeves up and being the Nebraskans, right? Answering the call whenever there's a challenge. I think a couple things that...
They got a
Say it again.
They got a reverberation.
Okay. I'm echoing a little bit. Hearing me once is enough, not twice in the same sense would be too much. Tell me when I can go. All right, there we go. We're perfect. Awesome. I think a couple things that I think is really important, so that I've had the incredible privilege of being the 41st governor now, just a year and 2 weeks, something like that. And if we just think back of what's all gone on, last year at this time there were extraordinary winter events taking place out from the Sandhills into the Panhandle, and all the work that Nebraskans have done in the snowplows and mobilization. I think one of the first things I remember is where mobilization of a lot of snowplows and blowers out into Cherry County and out into the western Panhandle. Is, you know, there are areas that had over 100 inches of snow and some of the toughest winters ever. And really, that's where we find ourselves today for the eastern part of the state, and in particular the northeastern, but pretty much north to south, where we're having extraordinary moments. And I think there's a couple things that I think are incredibly important today. First off, for all Nebraskans, if I had the privilege to welcome troops home this morning in Omaha, and you might say it doesn't seem that bad, it's really important that all Nebraskans stay home, because the wind chill is crippling, the snow blowing is crippling, and I think right now that what I got briefed and our team will be talking about, you know, we have almost 15% of our roads closed across the state, which is a pretty significant event since the floods of 19. And the other that's really important, Nebraska, the most welcoming state in the country, have the most incredible people. And if you just think about how many new Nebraskans we have in the last 10 and 15 years that have never lived through this kind of event, the blizzard, the blowing snow, the bitter cold, it really, really creates incredibly crippling, but most importantly, incredibly dangerous places for people. So we just can't urge Nebraskans to stay home, and to stay home for several days, because this event is not going away tonight. It's not going away tomorrow. It's going to take a number of days. And the other thing that's important is our teams have been working tirelessly. This started Monday, today's Saturday, and right now today there's 350 plows out in the eastern part of Nebraska, plowing and moving snow, and you know, that's keeping the main thoroughfares. And I think there's been Colonel Bolduc said over 1,000 car calls this week. We just can't urge people to stay off because it's dangerous for you and so difficult to keep roads moving. So I think that's really important. And you know, I think a lot of parts of the northeast Nebraska has received since Monday right up to 2 foot of snow, with winds blowing and extraordinary crippling. So can't urge us all again enough to stay back. The other thing I want to make sure that we talk about is how important it is that we recognize the vastness of how this affects us more than travel, and more than making sure that we keep everybody safe. It's so important that we stay home, and that we're able to recognize the needs that as once we get our highways through, that I want to make sure that all Nebraskans in agriculture, all Nebraska livestock producers, recognize that we have a really, really good pulse beat on how critical it is and how much help is needed. I couldn't tell you how incredibly proud I am of Nebraska livestock producers that have an impact on feeding the world and saving the planet, and incredible impact on food security. And virtually all Nebraska livestock producers just used to doing it their own and never asking for help. I think it's really important that we will talk about that today, that we make sure that you get a little humble and be willing to ask for help, because it's going to take days to be able to get to all the roads that are that have been affected, whether it's county roads or even township roads. John will talk about our county partners and local partners and neighbors helping neighbors. And that's the greatest part of these events. It's the way it is in Nebraska. We just roll up our sleeves and help each other. But I think things that I remember 1983 really, really well. There's nothing close in my experience to what's taken place since Monday in eastern Nebraska since 1983. The other thing that's really important is for all the cattle producers. If you think of northeast Nebraska, what took place in August. Cattle feedlot producers went through an extraordinary crippling couple days with incredible heat, incredible humidity, no wind, and had catastrophic loss, death losses of their livestock. Well, they're going through the same thing today with these crippling, and how incredibly important it is that we can get roads open so that the distiller grains can get, so that they can keep cattle on feed and minimize the losses. And that's just the tip of the iceberg from when we start talking about dairy and dumping milk, and we talk about poultry, and we talk about pork. So we need all hands on deck. Can't ask all neighbors to just keep reaching out and making sure that we're all part of it. And I think that what I want to make sure all Nebraskans from Omaha and Lincoln and every producer knows that all the public servants in the state of Nebraska have all hands on deck. We're putting everything out there to be able to get the resources together, and we're declaring a state of emergency. So the bottom line is really, really simple. Nebraskans help each other. It's really, really important that we recognize it's going to take days. This isn't going to go away in the next 24 hours or the next 48 hours. It could take up to 4 and 5 days before we can even get close to normal operations. It's going to take patience, but it's going to take us all reaching out and asking for help and helping each other across the board. And great part is there's no better place to live, because together we can get through this, and we'll be helping each other. And I think that the other thing that's really important is that we not be bashful to reach out and ask for help. We're not very good at that. Nebraskans are humble. We don't brag about anything, and we're just going to do it ourselves. So I can't encourage us all to not be bashful, to reach out and ask for help.